All right, let's dive into something truly mind-bending, complex dynamics. It's a field of math where, and you won't believe this, some of the most intricate, beautiful patterns you can imagine are born from one of the simplest ideas ever, just repetition. So I want you to just think about this for a second. What if you could create something with just infinite, beautiful complexity? And the only tool you needed was just repeating one super simple calculation. It sounds kind of crazy, but that's exactly what we're going to unpack today.
Okay, so how does this actually work? We've got to start with the basics. We're going to explore let's call it the fate of a number when we just keep applying a really simple rule to it again and again.
And here's our rule. I mean, it is about as simple as you can get. F of z equals z squared. All we're doing is taking a number, let's call it z, and squaring it. That's it. Seriously, this one tiny function is the engine that's going to drive everything we're about to see. So where do all these numbers live? Well, they live on something called the complex plane. The easiest way to think about it is like a giant two-dimensional map. Every number z has its own unique address, its own spot on this map. And the most important thing you need to know is how far that spot is from the center, from 0. That distance, we call that its absolute value. Okay, so here's the big question. What happens to a number on this map if we just keep applying our z-squared rule? We pick a starting point, we square it, we take that answer, square it again, and just keep going. Where does it end up?
Well, it turns out there are pretty much two very different destinies. First up, if you start with a number that's close to the center, anything inside what we call the unit circle, every single time you square it, it gets smaller and smaller. It kind of spirals inward, like it's being pulled into a vortex right at the center, at 0. But what if you start just a tiny bit further out with a number that's outside that circle? The exact opposite happens. It's wild. Every time you square it, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. It basically just gets flung off the map, escaping towards infinity at an incredible speed. So what we have here is this super clear, really predictable divide. Start inside the circle, you're stable, you head to 0. Start outside, you escape to infinity. Everything feels nice and orderly, right? But that brings up a really interesting question.
What about the numbers that are perfectly balanced, right there on the edge? The ones that are sitting right on that dividing line itself? Oh yeah, this is where things get chaotic. This is where it gets fun. So this boundary, this edge of chaos, it has a name. It's called the Julia set. And it's basically the collection of all the points where the behavior is anything but simple and predictable. Now for our simple little rule, c squared, the Julia set is just, well, it's just a perfect circle. But don't let that clean look fool you. Because, and this is a direct quote from the people who study this stuff, the dynamics is chaotic. The numbers that live on this line, they don't settle down and they don't fly away. They're sort of trapped, dancing around the circle in a super complex, totally unpredictable way, forever. Okay, get ready, because this is the moment where everything changes. We've seen what our simple z-squared rule does. Now, what happens if we just make one tiny, tiny little tweak? What if we just add a constant number to it? That simple, perfect circle, it shatters. It just explodes into this object of absolutely breathtaking complexity. The Julia set isn't a simple line anymore. It becomes a fractal. And this is the result. Just by adding one specific number to our rule, that boring old boundary transforms into this. It's a structure with infinite detail. I mean, you could zoom in on any part of this forever, and you would just keep finding more and more complexity. And here's the kicker. Change that little number you're adding, and you get a completely different universe. Look at this one. The Julia set here isn't even one connected piece anymore. It's more like a fractal dust, what's called a Cantor set. Every tiny change to the rule generates a unique, infinitely complex world of its own. So, okay, you have to be wondering, how on earth do mathematicians even begin to make sense of all this? How do you map a world that's got these calm, stable parts right next to this wild, infinite chaos? Well, it turns out there's a fundamental principle that helps organize it all. Turns out this split is universal. For any of these systems, the entire map, the entire complex plane, is split into two teams. You have the Fatou set, where things are tame and predictable. That's our inside and outside points from before. And then you have its opposite, the Julia set, and that's where all the chaos lives.
Now, to really pinpoint the heart of all this chaos, mathematicians use this special tool. It's called the equilibrium measure. Think of it like a heat map, you know? It shows you exactly where the most intense, most chaotic activity is happening. And its foundation, where it's based, is always the Julia set. In fact, this heat map puts all of its focus, I'm talking 100%, directly onto that chaotic Julia set. It completely ignores all the boring, stable areas. It is, for all intents and purposes, a pure measure of chaos itself.
So let's bring this all back home. What's the big idea here? What's the main thing to take away from this whole journey into the complex plane?
I mean, think about it. We started with literally one of the simplest rules you can imagine. Just take a number and square it. And what did we get? A clean, predictable system with a nice, simple circle for a boundary. And then, just by adding one tiny little number, we unleashed an entire universe of infinite fractal complexity. We created a world where the border between calm and chaos is one of the most intricate, mind-bogglingly beautiful things in all of mathematics. And that leaves us with one last kind of fascinating question to chew on. When you look around at the world, at the complex shape of a coastline, the delicate structure of a snowflake, or even the branches of a tree, it just makes you wonder, right? How many of those beautiful, complex patterns are really just the echo of a very simple rule, repeated over and over again?